Welcome to the Did You Know Quilting Show. I am Christina Whitney, and today's question is, did you know that you can create your own digitized designs? So I'm going to show you how I use Pro Stitcher Designer and a picture to create a new design. So check it out.
So I'm here in Pro Stitcher Designer and I want to create a design from a picture. So I'm going to go up to my Tools tab here and then click on Backdrop. And you might have to hit select if you get a little drop down. But then you're going to look on your computer and find the picture. You're going to have to determine where you have it saved at. I've got mine on my desktop and it's titled Digitized. So I'm going to open up that backdrop. And then I'm going to come in and change the size of it. I want the height of this overall picture to be about, I'm going to say 35 inches. And I like to go bigger than smaller just because it's easier to shrink a design rather than enlarge it and keep things smooth. Okay, then I'm also going to lighten the picture so it's easier to see the design that I'm working on and hit apply. Okay, so let me zoom out just a tiny bit. Looking at this design, I need to figure out my path. So I'm thinking what I want to do is maybe start here, do the circle, come up, over, over, and then come back. And this is where it will connect into the next circle and just continue repeating. So rather than trying to make an all over edge to edge, I'm going to just focus on little sections. To begin, I'm going to start with this circle section. And to make a nice circle, I'm going to go up here to the artwork tools and I'm going to click on ellipse. Now, if I want to make a design with the circle, I can stretch it and make it all kinds of crazy, which isn't what I'm going for. So I'm just going to delete that design. What I want is that perfect circle. So again, I'm going to click on ellipse, but this time I'm going to hold the control key down and then I'm going to drag my mouse. And I'm not making it the exact perfect size or anything. I'm just getting that circle onto my screen. And then I'm going to come over and I'm going to select that circle, put it in position where I want it, and maybe do a little bit of resizing, just dragging on those arrows. I'll make this one just a tiny bit smaller. Okay, so I am liking that circle. And now I'm going to hit my Edit tab or my Shape tab so I can see that I've got my start and stop up here, which is exactly where I want it. That is very nice. Now I want to focus on the next section here. Now you'll notice that if I come up, over, and come halfway, then I'm just going to flip that design and do it the other way or mirror that design. So rather than trying to get all of these symmetrical, I'm only going to focus on this half of the design. Okay, so I'm going to choose my arc tool. And this is the one where you always have to count 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. And I'm also going to check real quick and make sure I'm right clicking on the ruler and my snapped anchor points is turned on. So that is what I want. Okay. Oops, I just dropped an anchor point. So I'm going to just backspace to get rid of that. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do my 1, 2, 3. And then rather than trying to change to a straight line, I'm just going to do a 2, 3, and I'll come back and edit that to make it a straight line. And then up here 2, and come to the center, 3, right click, that I am done. And now I can go in and do that editing. So I'll go to my shape tool and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here so we can see better. Okay, so I'm going to click on this point here. And I don't know exactly what kind of anchor point that is. So I'm going to grab this handle and pull it. And it's moving independently. So that means that's a cusp and that makes me happy. So I'm going to just try to make that anchor handle straight and bring the other side over, making it straight. And you can see that little tiny adjustment that I made there. When I hit my enter key, that original one will go away. I'm liking that. I'm liking my halfway point. Now, the other thing that I want to change is I want this start point to be right on that end point. So it actually did not snap together. So I'm going to zoom in even more. And once again, make sure I'm on my shape tool. Now I'm going to take this point here, I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to just kind of drag it around. And the reason why I do that is that when I get closer to that other anchor point, you're going to watch it kind of snap into place. Oh, did you see it just snap? Let's do that again. I'm going to drag it away. I'm actually going to do it from up here so you can see a different angle. So I'm clicked on there and I'm going to drag it down and wait till it snaps. Snap right there. Okay. So I'm going to hit my enter key. Now I did notice that this line right here is kind of dipping down just a tiny bit more than I want. So I'm going to click on that anchor point, grab my handle, and I'm going to just lift it up a little bit. Okay, that's looking good. I'm going to hit my space bar to refresh. Actually, I don't want to refresh that far, so I'm going to zoom back into the whole design here. Looking over here on the right-hand sidebar, you can see I've got the two pieces of artwork. The one that's pink is this number 2. The circle is number 1. Now, if I were to combine those two right now and then repeat it, I'm going to end up with 2 circles when I do my repeats. So I want to select this section here, and I'm going to hit my select button. And I want to go in and I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to paste it. And I don't see it anywhere. That is because it is right on top of the previous one. But you can see down here in my sequence view that I now have 3 pieces of artwork. So I'm going to take that third piece and I'm going to go into modify and I want to mirror it. Okay, so it's mirrored. Now I'm going to drag it over, get as close as I can. And I can even zoom in, making sure it looks like that one actually snapped pretty well together. So that's a good thing. So we're going to zoom back out. Nope. Helps if you hit the zoom button before you draw the box. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to get this circle connected to this design and then connected to this design. I could just select all 3 of the designs and tell them to connect together, but I have found that when I'm doing a lot of different pieces, the computer doesn't always connect it the way I want it to connect. I found that I have better luck if I select one design, hold my control key down, select the other design, and then do a control T, and that will tie those 2 together. So now I've got this section, and then number 2 is this section. So now I can go back in and select both of those, tie them together, and now I have one design that starts with a circle, comes up and over and down. Now I want to check one other thing before I start doing some repeats. So I'm going to go into my Edit tab, and I want to make sure that this point here, which should be my start point, and this should be my end point, I want to make sure that those are on the same plane. So I'm going to select that one, hold my control key down, select the next one, and then I'm going to come up, I'm in the Modify tab, and then the Align. I'm going to click the little down arrow, and I'm going to align them both to the bottom. And it looks like they were pretty close already. It looked like I did a good job. Excellent. Okay, so we're just going to do a little test run here. I'm going to select the design, and I'm going to go to my Preview tab, assign the stitches to the design, and then let's watch the stitch out. see what it does. Okay, starts doing the circle around, comes up, over, over, down. Okay, I'm liking that. Now what we can do is I'm going to turn off this stitch out. I just did a right click, and I'm going to go to my view tab, and I'm going to just turn off the view of the backdrop. So all we see is the design. And then I'm going to select the design, and we're going to go into the Tools tab. Under Tools, we have this button here called Repeat. So we're just going to play with that for a second. So I'm going to click on Repeat, and you'll notice that I've got a gap right here. They're not connecting. I'm going to hit my point-to-point button, and that snaps those together, which is what I wanted. Now I could play with the gap in between the up and down. So I'm going to do that. That's our vertical distance. I'm going to make that smaller so that we're squishing those in. They're nesting a little bit more. So something like that. You could add some more repeats. And you could use that as an all-over design, which could be fun. Or let's go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel out of this. I'm going to go back into repeats, turn on my point to point. Now here's another fun one, this offset every row, 50%. So this will shift it halfway. Okay, but you'll notice that they're not lining up perfectly. That's because I've got a circle on this side of the design. So the halfway point is actually like more over here. So to fix that, I'm just going to use my down arrow, and I'm just going to go down until I like it and think it's about, I think back one more. Okay, and we can add some more repeats there. So that is another fun way to use those repeats to create an edge-to-edge design. When I am happy with it, what I like to do is I'm actually going to cancel out of that. I'm going to save it as just this initial one piece. And then when I go into Pro Stitcher, I can set up the amount of repeats, if I want to wrap it, whatever tools I want to use. But I would just save this as is. So File, Save. I would give it a name. Let's do Circle Loop. And it already has stitches, so I can save it as it's ready to stitch. I'll use an HQ Pro Stitcher, File, HQV. Make sure I pay attention to where I'm saving it to, and I can hit my Save button, and then I've got that design ready to go to Pro Stitcher. So that is creating a design in Pro Stitcher Designer using a backdrop tool.
Thanks for joining me for the Did You Know Quilting Show.